Hi guys, today we're gonna paint colorful balloons. I'm so excited, but first, let's tell a couple of jokes. You want to hear a joke about a balloon?
Yeah.
Oh wait, it just escaped me.
Now before we start, we actually each have a little practice sheet of paper here, and this is what we're going to be using to practice getting dark colors, medium colors, and light colors. So it can be a little tricky with watercolor, and it's all about how much water you add to your paint. So to practice, we're going to start with our little scrap sheet of paper and just our paintbrush and our colors in front of us. You'll need paper towel. This is so important to control how much water is in your brush. And of course, you'll need water. Now, so what I mean is when we're painting our balloon, we're going to be painting a dark color, a medium color, and a light color, all with the same paint color. Those are called values. Values are how light or dark you paint. Now, to paint the darkest, you can grab a generous scoop of paint. All right, now I'm going to start with this blue right here, and we've already pre-wet our paints, so they're wet and ready to go. And I'm just going to scoop a bunch of paint out. I'm just going to demonstrate this first. Can you guys see how loaded that brush is with paint? There's so much paint on there. Now, if it's got too much water in it, just gently blot it on your paper towel like that. But that doesn't take all the paint out, does it? You can still see that there's a lot of paint in there. Now, when you apply it to your paper, look how dark that is. Whoa. So that's your darkest value. Now, to make it a medium tone, just take your brush, dip it in the water a little bit. See how some of the paint came out, but not all of it? And then swipe it on your paper towel, or just blot like that. And then you have a medium tone. See how it's not quite as dark as the one right next to it? Then, if you want to remove most of the paint from your brush, swirl it in your jar. You can see how it's taking most of the paint out of the brush. Again, dry it on your paper towel, but see how it's still blue? That means there's still paint in there. And if it's still too dark, dip it in your water one more time. Then, look at how you have a nice light color on your paper. You ready to practice? Yeah. All right, so choose a color.
I like blue.
Grab a juicy amount of paint, and if it's too wet, remove a little on your paper towel. And then paint a dark, wow, that's so dark, good job. Now to make a medium tone, you're probably going to need to take quite a bit of the paint out.
Hey look, there's a little medium tone.
Ooh, pretty. So swirl that in your jar. Not all of it though. Ooh, that's probably too much.
I'll get a little color.
Get a little more paint and remove some of the water on your paper towel. Too much water is a problem in watercolor because it means you can't control it on the paper. Good medium tone, that's beautiful. Nice work.
It matches that.
Yeah, and see if you can paint it right up next to the dark one so that they kind of blend together. Now make a light tone by rinsing out most of it, but not all of it. If it looks too dark still, remove it on your paper towel. You don't want too much water. And then try a light value. It's still a little dark, so dip in the water a little bit. Remove some of the water on your paper towel and then go back in and paint. Nice. Now here's one more technique we're going to try. Look how blue our jars are. We're going to have to replace our water before we start. But another technique you can try is the wet and wet technique. And for this I'm going to start with a fresh color. Make sure that all my brush is clean. Swipe on the tip of your or on the edge of your jar and then remove it on your paper towel. Okay, so to do the wet and wet technique, you start with wet paper. So I have water in my brush and I'm just painting in a circle shape on my scrap piece of paper. It's still a little blue, isn't it? It's because my water's blue.
Mine's a lot less.
Then you're going to take your juicy amount of paint. This time I'm going to do green.
Yeah, and this time I'm going to try orange.
Okay. And let's start at the bottom. We're going to pretend this is the balloon. And this is a dark color because we have juicy paint, right? And kind of swirl it around in your circle, but then swipe some on your paper towel. That's taking a little bit out. Now you have less paint in your brush. And keep going upwards in your circle so that it's a medium value. Then remove most of it with your jar and your paper towel. Paper towel. Good. So you almost have no paint on your brush, but it's really light. Then take it around the top of your circle like this and leave a highlight. And what you have is something that goes dark to medium to light. Cool. So that's what we're going to try to do with our balloons today. If this is your first time doing all these techniques and it doesn't work, that's okay. This is a tricky technique, but it's so cool looking. So I thought we'd give it a try today. We're going to replace our water jars and jump into the balloon tutorial. And now we have 5x7-inch sheets of paper here. And guys, I will say that if you want this to work the same way as our paintings, you're going to want to use 100% cotton paper. The paper is the most important thing in watercolor to get the effects you want. Now, if you're not using cotton paper, but it's still watercolor paper, it'll still work pretty well. It just won't be as absorbent and it won't respond to scrubbing quite as much as cotton paper does. But definitely don't use printer paper or something like that. The water's just gonna soak right through and you'll have a mess. So use watercolor paper. You can use any colors you want for these balloons. We're gonna go ahead and start with our sketches. Grab a pencil. Got your pencil? What shape is a balloon?
It is an oval or a circle.
Yeah.
Pretty ovalish.
So let's make ours just a classic oval shape. And let's do 3 balloons. So you get to choose 3 colors for your balloons. Let's start with one right in the middle. And it's okay if it's not perfect. Ovals are hard to draw. So decide how big you want your balloons to be.
Yours is perfect.
No, it's not. If you want to, also, you can make it a little pointier at the bottom, like where the tie goes. I'm going to add a little point at the bottom. And then there's like teeny little triangle at the bottom for where the string goes. Ooh, that's looking good. Nice work. Good job. Beautiful balloon. I love that. What a great start. So you're going to draw one in the middle now. And if you want to, if you started with the middle balloon like I did, you can draw a balloon a little lower maybe. Because oftentimes, ooh, I don't like that line already. Oftentimes the balloons are overlapping each other. So you can make one that's a little closer to the viewer.
And erase that line.
And erase that line. Or you can make it see-through. I'm making mine kind of overlapping each other. And the 2 in the front are just a little lower than the one in the back.
I'm making the middle one bigger because the other ones behind it are in the distance.
In the distance, I like it. Okay, so just draw your 3rd balloon. Those are so cute. Nice. And then all you have to do is draw a little curvy string coming down from each one. I'm just making mine kind of, they almost look like jellyfish tentacles. The only thing I'm going to say let's add is a highlight. And I'll show you what a highlight is. It's the brightest part of the balloon. Look at this snow globe. Do you see this bright spot right here where the light is shining? That's called the highlight, and we want one of those on each of our balloons. And they need to be on the same side of each balloon. So I'm just going to draw this little rectangle that's kind of curving in the way that the balloon is. On the side of each balloon, it needs to be on the same side for each balloon. Don't put them on different sides because we want it to look like the light is coming from up here. And that is the part of the balloon you're not going to cover with paint at all, right? Because it's the highlight. Good job.
They're pretty different.
They look super cute. All right, grab your Sharpie and let's go ahead and outline our balloons.
And we don't
except the highlight.
Don't color in the highlight.
Don't color in the highlight. Don't outline the highlight either. If you put a black line right next to your highlight, it makes it look less highlighty.
You can do it slowly. And Sharpie time is the best time to erase the things that you don't want.
Yeah, so you can use your Sharpie to fix your lines or mess them up like I did.
And erase all the extra pencil lines.
Good idea.
Except for the highlight.
I'm gonna erase the extra lines. Those look awesome. Are you ready to start painting? Plan what colors do you want to use for balloons. So what 3 colors are you going to make them? I like the idea of making them all different colors.
Me too.
So I'm going to do blue, red, and yellow. Let's do the primary colors.
That's actually what I wanted.
So let's start with our red balloon. Remember how we practiced getting a juicy amount of paint on our brush? And we also practiced the wet and wet technique. And I think almost for these balloons, this technique is going to work the best. So let's try this. Let's color in our balloon. Let's start with the one on the left first with pure water.
Okay.
But don't color the water over your highlight. So if you can, paint the water around the highlight. So make your paper glossy wet, just damp. And if you have too much water in your brush, remember to blot it on your paper towel. Too much water would mean that it's dripping and that there's puddles on your paper. We don't want that. We just want it to look kind of glossy and wet. So let the water soak in, but don't paint over your highlight. And we're starting with red, right? Okay, so load up your brush with red paint. And how about we make the left side of the balloon the darkest? So swipe along the left side of your balloon with your dark paint, all along the edge, right up to your Sharpie. Then swipe some of that paint off on your paper towel.
I have too much.
Now take your medium paint value. It's a little lighter on your brush now. Swipe along the edge you just put down. So we're going in a curving motion in the way the balloon is moving. And we want it to get lighter and lighter up toward that highlight. Now I'm dipping in the water, removing some on the paper towel so that it's really light. And I'm going to paint all around the highlight. Yeah, I think maybe you didn't remove quite enough, but that's okay. You know what? You could probably go darker with your red on that side. I think I'm going to too. So now take more juicy red paint and paint on the left side of your balloon. Only the left side.
Be sure to dab on your...
Yeah. Don't have too much water in your brush.
Thumping mad.
See how that darkened it? And then I'm removing most of that. I'm going to swipe any extra water on the edge of my jar and blot on my paper towel so it's not too wet. And I think that's still too dark. Paint around the whole edge now of your balloon with your bright red. And it should look shiny. That's okay. That one kind of got all red. Here's what you can do. Instead of taking a paper towel, take a brush that's almost completely removed of paint, and you can swipe and remove some of the paint out in the middle where it maybe got too dark.
This is only my first time doing it.
It's a good practice. See how you can actually lift some of the paint out so it's not so dark. Can you paint the little tip where it's tied right there? Right, let's try the next one. What color should we do next?
I want to do blue.
Blue next? Okay. Let's start with the water again. Take clean water. It's not really clean, but that's okay. Fill in your balloon and hold your paper steady with your other hand.
You should have taped it.
Yeah, if it's not taped down, it might move a little. But we have a second hand, fortunately. And use the tip of the brush. Hold your brush close to the tip. See how I'm holding it close to the tip? Good. Better control that way. And now, watch where my brush goes. See how I'm taking the tip of the brush and painting around the highlight? It's like I'm drawing around it, just with clean water. Draw around the highlight. I know, it shouldn't look like it's anything at all. It's just wet, that's all. Now we're ready to take our blue. We're gonna need to do the same thing we did with the red and start with our juicy blue. Go ahead and grab some blue. That's probably too much. You don't have to just go right in the paint because that's too much. You don't want that much. Trust me. Only a little bit. Now, take it, watch my brush, along the edge with your dark paint. Just the edge. If they're overlapped like mine, don't go into the red, but yours are not, so that should be easy. Swipe along that edge. That's the shadow side, right? The side that's furthest from the light. And hold it close to the tip for better control. I'm going to remove some on my paper towel.
Make it go deep down.
All right, now I want you to dip your brush in the water. Just dip. Don't remove any. And then scrub on your paper towel just a little like this. Good. Now swipe along that edge with less paint in your brush. Right up next to the dark color. So we're just filling the middle of the balloon. Good job. Now swipe and remove even more. And remove it on your paper towel. And then swipe along that edge again. Holding your brush close to the tip. Good. And you can paint around the highlight now and around the edge of the other side of the balloon. Painting around that edge.
I'm trying to make it light as possible. It looks a little darker.
So then remove some more in the water and on your paper towel if it needs to go even lighter. I needed to do that too. And the paper dries out pretty fast, so you have to kind of move quickly with this technique. So scrub all of it out just about, and then swipe on your paper towel, taking out the water, and then finish around your highlight. Good. Blue looks awesome. Nice work.
Even better than the red.
Even better. That's the thing. We get to practice with each one, right? Okay, our last color is yellow. You still want to do yellow?
Yeah.
Okay, rinse all your blue out. And
now my water's purple.
Remove some of the excess water on your paper towel. And then again, when you're grasping your brush, pinch it really close to the bristle with your 1 and 2, and then rest the other 3 underneath.
Like that.
That's it. Good control.
So it keeps it from going everywhere.
Right. Okay, let's take a little water. Dip in your water and paint your balloon with water everywhere except the highlight. And paint gently around the highlight. So much of this is brush control. It's learning how to hold your brush, how to control it, how to figure out where the tip of that brush is going, isn't it? Now, something we forgot to do that makes it look even more realistic, you don't do this because you didn't overlap yours, but I need to, is I need to put a little bit of blue right here. That makes it look see-through, right? And I need to put a teeny bit of blue here. Ah, it's too dark. So that it looks like the red is right in front of the blue balloon. There we go.
It almost looks purple.
That's better. Okay. Is your balloon wet? You might have to go over it with a little more water because I was talking and it dried out. Sorry. Let's grab some juicy yellow. Then fill in the little tide area of the balloon. And we don't fill in the highlight, do we? Let's grab a little bit of this orange and just put it, ooh, that looks better, on the side. I like that.
To make it look darker.
Yeah, that looks better. Swipe on your paper towel, pinch, and rest your other 3. Good. And then just push and pull that paint around, pushing it towards the edge. Push towards the edge. Watch where the tip of the brush goes, and then take most of it out. And then remove the water. You can almost leave it like that, or you can take the tip of your brush and paint one more time around the edge. Good. So much control that way. Awesome. Well, it's a party in here. Look at these balloons. Those look so good. You did awesome. High five. Yeah. What do you think?
I think they look great.
Good. Yay. I hope you guys learned how to control how dark or how light to make your paint in this tutorial. It can be a little tricky at first, so practice this a bunch of times and it'll get easier. As you saw, we had to kind of use the first one as a practice run and move our way across. But that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys were able to do this tutorial along with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Bye!